Hey girls, so this is my how to handle fights video. There's a lot of different kind of fights we could be talking about because it's such a broad topic, but I'm going to be talking about specifically family fights. Now, if you think about the families from back in the 50s, it's like Bob, Sue, Sally, and John. Sally and John being the kids and Bob and Sue being the mom and dad. And then you have the dog, Max, and they're all around the kitchen table. And, Bob's reading the newspaper and then the mom's over there cooking. And it's all just one big happy family. But no, that's not how it is today. And the question is, how come we're not like that anymore? What happened? And I think some of the things that go through my mind are technology. It's just become such a huge thing that I think in a way, as much as it is trying to connect us, it's also separating us. So that could be one of the reasons why we're not like the families from the 50s anymore. So, back in the 50s, they had that representation of the family on TVs. And so that was on the TV, and then you have, nowadays, you have, Family Guy and the Kardashians that are on TV, and those representing modern-day families. So you can just see how much of a big difference that it is. Alright, so if we're real with ourselves, we just got to picture our own family. How is our family? Are we more of the 50s style, or are we more of, the Kardashian style, or whatever. So if I think about my family, we're just sort of, we have been the way we've been our whole life. So it's not like the usual 50s style family type life. And for a lot of you, I know it's not either. Either you go and eat in your room, or you go and you eat in separate spots, or you don't eat dinner together at all. You don't even see each other at all. I mean, I don't know what your situation is, but we all have different types of family lives, okay? And I think I've lived through many of the different family lives too, because I've just different stages of life and different things happening and just things change. So I totally get you. Not everybody has that perfect life. And if you have sort of like the 50s style family who eats at the dinner table every night with no TV, no nothing, then that's awesome. That is just really great. But you can still listen to and watch this video. You don't have to have a lot of family problems to watch this video. Alright, so here's a verse in Numbers 23:19, and it says, God is not human that he should lie, not a human being that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? No, he doesn't. He does everything he says he's going to do. So whenever he gives you a family and expects them to take care of you, that's what's going to happen. And don't think that he's avoiding you and your family, because he's not. He's going to help you with whatever it is. You just have to, you have to pray and then figure out what you're going to do about the situation you're in, and try and do a little fixing in there. So I'm going to teach you how to do a little fixing. So society has definitely changed our view of family and how and what we should be. So I'm going to tell you a story about a family, okay? Here it goes. There's a husband, a man. He's a husband to his wife, and he's also a father to his children. And he commits adultery by having an affair with another woman other than his wife, and he winds up having a daughter with this woman. So he has a daughter with his with his wife, and then he has a daughter with the woman on the other side, the other woman. And the daughter and the son that he has with his wife, he has a daughter and a son with them. And the son that he has over here with this woman winds up raping the daughter that he had with his wife. And we all know how terrible that is. So after that happens, the brother of the man and his wife kills the half-brother on this side. He winds up killing him because of what he did to his sister. And then the father decides, I'm going to commit murder to cover up my son's killing my other son. And it's just this one huge big thing. And believe it or not, this did not come from Mari. This did not come from some, story on the news. This came from the Bible. Believe it, because it did. It came from the Bible. And then the other thing is, believe it or not, it was David. You ever heard of the story of David and Goliath, the man who had enough faith that he shot the rock at Goliath's head and then killed him? It was him. One of the most righteous men in the Bible, one of the guy who had a heart for God. He was just so faithful in everything, and then this goes and happens. And the reason was because he didn't carry his relationship with God to his relationship with his family. He failed to bring that to his family. And it's just so ironic how all this happens. And then people think, you know what, if you're Christian, you have to be perfect, and you can't be for God if you've done this and you've done that. But that's not true. People make mistakes. Even the most godliest people in the Bible had made a mistake, and you see how big that mistake was. It went on to this, to this, to this, and it just kept going. So, don't be fooled. Christians aren't perfect. We never will be. We all make mistakes, and even those really big ones we make. Alright, so we all have problems, and I don't know what your situation is in your family life, but we all have problems. So how do we handle conflict in the family besides murdering each other? I think we should address some of those instead of having fights. So I've got my PowerPoint here, and it's starting with the letter F in fights, alright? It says face the other person. So whenever you're going to get in a fight with someone, you don't want to get into a fight, but the right way to get into a fight or to address topics is to become face-to-face with a person, face-to-face. You want to face that person, and you don't want to, like, look around and everything. You want to be face-to-face, eye contact, you know, let them know I'm even talking to you, alright? Don't avoid conflict with the silent treatment. I know a lot of girls are really good with the silent treatment. Don't do it. You gotta learn how to face it the right way. Okay, so I and fight. So first one was face. I is ignore the temptation to sidetrack. Getting off subject, don't do it. Avoid doing that. You have to take responsibility. And you have to admit your fault quickly and completely. We tend to blame people for things that happen, and even if we didn't do them, sometimes we just need to take the responsibility of something and just be like, yep, that was totally me, totally sorry, now let's get to the point here, and then get to the point. So avoid the temptation to sidetrack. I is ignore the temptation to sidetrack. Okay, so F, face to face. Okay, don't sidetrack, don't go blaming other people, and don't be like, so how was your day? No, just get to the point, okay? G, in a fight. Face, ignore temptation to sidetrack. G, guard your tongue. Name calling, attacking the other person with issues and past references, it causes very deep hurt. If you went to God and you were like, God, can you please forgive me for cheating on the test? And then he was like, oh, okay, I'll forgive you, but just remember, you were looking at that girl's butt at the grocery store the other day. Oh, just remember, you stole that t-shirt. Oh, just remember, by the way, you did this and you did that, and it's just like all these things, and he's reminding you of everything that you've done wrong, but then he says he's just going to forgive you for what you just did. You don't want to remind people of what they did. What they did is in the past. It should stay in the past, and you should forget about it, because God says that he has banned your sins, like, as far as the east is from the west, and he doesn't see them anymore. He forgives and he forgets them. So just like that, you are not dealing with the issues of the past. Right now, you are dealing with the issues of today. You're dealing with the issue of the moment. So don't go talking about all the other things that they did, because that's not what it's about right now. Right now, it's about right now. Okay? So, F, face to face. I, ignore temptation to sidetrack. G, guard your tongue. Those words hurt, and we know sometimes we don't mean them and we're just really angry, but you know what, even if you don't mean them, it's going to stick in that person's head for the rest of their life, and they're not going to forget about the words that you said. So guard that tongue. H, history belongs in the past. I just mentioned that. So that goes with the guard your tongue. Keep it in the past. Don't bring it up ever again. Alright, so then there's T, touch. Not like a touch, a punch touch, no. Not a touch like a kick or a slap punch, no. You want to touch as in saying, I'm on the same side as you. I just want to get this argument over with, and slightly touch them on the shoulder and be like, we need to talk. Or, can I talk to you for a minute? And whenever you touch them, it just means that you're not being violent and you don't want this space in between you two. You want them to know, I'm right there with you. We just got to get through this. So let it be one of those gentle touch, not a squeeze. You don't want to do that. You want to keep it gentle. S, fights. Stay in there. Finish the fight and don't go to bed angry. The problem with going to bed angry is you wake up and you're still angry at the person. And you know what? I hate whenever people go to bed angry with people, because then whenever you wake up in the morning, what if the person, I know this sounds terrible, but what if the person died? I couldn't live with the fact that the last minutes that we were angry with each other was the last minutes that they had to live. It would kill me on the inside. I don't know how I would live after that, but seriously, don't go to bed angry. Deal with the problem. Even if it takes until 5 o'clock in the morning to when you have to wake up in the morning and you're still awake and you haven't washed your hair or anything, get the fight over with. Just get it over with. Don't go to bed angry. It's so dangerous. It's sad, and you want to just let it go, because it's going to draw on and on and on and on, and it's going to be a never-ending story. Get it over with. Ephesians 4:26 says, if your anger, in your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. Okay, you want to go to bed with a clean conscience. You want to go to bed knowing that you got that thing away from you and you got the situation fixed, and you can go to bed in peace, and you don't have to stay up all night thinking about the issues that you have with that person. All right, some of the things that we need to resist temptation to do in fights is to blame. We need to learn how to take responsibility for our own actions. So that's one of the things. Don't blame. All right. 2, try not to yell. So whenever their voice is going up like this and they're like yelling at you and in your face, just bring your voice just a little bit lower and lower and lower. And you know what? They're going to notice that they're yelling at you, and they're going to kind of feel like the bad person. You're not trying to make them feel like the bad person, but the softer you talk, the softer they're going to talk. And if they start yelling, they're going to notice, and then they're going to want to go down. So always return loud, obnoxious anger with meek, soft response, okay? There's a verse in Proverbs 15:1, and it says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. If both of you are yelling, you're not getting anywhere, and you probably don't even hear each other. Okay, 3. Don't try to change the other person. It usually doesn't work out. You want to allow the Lord to make changes in the person. So in that case, you just want to pray for them consistently, and you want to, every single time you see them do something that you just don't agree with or you don't like, you can pray for them at that moment in your head. Just be like, Lord, I hate it when they do that. Just please just let them know that they can handle these situations in a different way. It's really aggravating. And just like that, over time, you might start seeing a change in the person. But whenever you go up to the person and you say, put a hand on them, and you're just like, I'm praying for you because I want you to change. Who does that? No, don't do that. Pray for them on your own and get it over with. Anyways, I love you guys, and I hope you guys can take some of my advice. All right, see you next video.